Hello students, today I am going to discuss the new topic. This is new social and political groups. In the previous video we have discussed about the new and old terminologies. Again we have discussed about historians and their sources. Again we have discussed about the manuscripts, inscription, and again we have discussed about the archives. So today the new topic, this is new social and political groups. So in this topic what we will discuss, let's see. So here it is said that the study of the 1000 years between 700 and 1750 is a huge challenge to historians, largely because of the scale and variety of development that occurred over the period. At different moments in this period, new technologies made their appearance, like the Persian wheel in irrigation, the spinning wheel in weaving, and firearms in combat. Again, here see new foods and beverages arrived in the subcontinent: potatoes, corn, chilies, tea, and coffee. So students, what is said here? See, new social and political groups. During this 700 to 750, during this period, the history has witnessed the emergence of new technologies. What are the new technologies? Technology is, see, here it is said that what are the new technologies, like the Persian wheel in irrigation, next the spinning wheel in weaving, next firearms in combat. So here it is said that during this 700 to 750, so there is a lots of changes. If we tell about the new technology are the Persian wheel, which is used in irrigation, and the spinning wheel, which is used for the weaving, and firearms used where? In the battlefield. And if we tell about the suppose food, new food, suppose the potatoes, corn, chilies, tea, and coffee, these are used. And again, if we see the next, remember that all these innovations, new technologies, and crop came along with people who brought other ideas with them as well. As a result, this was period to economic, political, and social cultural senses. So here it is said that this innovation is brought by the people who are migrated from one place to another place. So with the migration, they coming by taking this type of senses, and due to this 700 to 1750, there is a lot of senses in political, economic, and social and cultural. And again, see, this was also a period of great mobility. Because why it is said that? Because most of the group of people, they are travel or migrate from one place to another. So like that, one example is given here, the Rajput. So this name is derived from the Rajputra. So Rajputra means the son of ruler who are the previous person. So here it is said that between 8 to 14, between 8 to 14 centuries, the term Rajput means the Rajputra, derived from the Rajputra, means the son of ruler. So was applied to warrior class and who claimed that they are the Kshatriyas class, because Rajput not only included ruler, they are the chieftain. Chieftain means they are the head or a chief who govern a village or a group of villages. So with this Kshatriyas or Rajput, the other caste also migrated from one place to another place, like what these are seen. So the Rajput were attributed with a chivalric code of conduct and extreme valor and great sense of loyalty by the poets and bards. In this way, the Marathas, Sikhs, Jats, Ahom, and Kayastha means those people who are a caste of scribes and secretaries. These are also people come from one place to another place. So with the migration of these people, whether it is Rajput or it is Marathas or Sikhs, Jats, Ahom or Kayastha, during this movement or during this migration from one place to another place lead to the senses of economic, political and cultural senses. So again here it is said, throughout the period there a gradual clearing of forest and extension of agriculture. When people are migrated from one place to another to searching a new opportunity, so in this period what happened, that gradually they are clearing the forest. Why they are clearing the forest? Because for extension of agriculture, and since faster and more complete in some areas than in others. So due to this, here one word is given, habitat means refers to the environment of a region and the social and economic lifestyle of its residents. So in this way, some of the people, they clearing the forest and they making the agricultural activities, and in this way they are living and they senses their environment. So again see, others started tilling the land and become peasants, and these new peasants groups gradually began to be influenced by regional markets, Shiftian priests, monasteries and temples. So when these people are coming from different place, and with the gathering of the different type of caste, they become the Shiftians, and they grew the regional markets, and they also making the temple, monasteries, and they become a part of large complex society. So in this way, large of complex society means mixing of the Maratha, Sikh, Jats, Ahom, Kayasthas. In this way they are making a complex societies, and were required to pay taxes and other goods and services to local lord. Means these people, they need to give the taxes to the local lords, means who are the king, who are control this area. So as a result, the significant and economic and social differences emerge again amongst peasants, and some possess more productive land and are also kept cattle. So during this period, the people are also, they are doing different type of agricultural activities, they also keeping the cattle. So again some of the people, suppose some combine artisanal work with agricultural activity, and during the lean season, so in this way they are doing different type of agricultural activities according to the situation. So as the society, in this way, as society become more differentiated, people were grouped into jatis or subcastes and ranked on the basis of their background and their occupation. So when in this way different type of people coming from different places, and according to their background, means what they are doing and what their occupation, on the basis of their background and their occupations, the different type of caste is formed. So in this way their jatis or subcaste is formed according to their background and occupations. And again it is said that ranks were not fixed permanently and varied according to their power and influence and resources controlled by members of the jati. The status of some jati could vary from area to area. So when these different type of jatis and subcastes or ranked are formed, so to control this different type of caste and jatis, Jati Panchayat form. So Jati Panchayat means Jati Panchayat rules and regulation enforced by a group of elder in the village. Mean among this subcaste, they making a committee like. So in this committee, there are some elder persons. So they are making a group, and this group used for control the area or to control these jatis. So in this way Jati Panchayat formed. So here it is said that Jati Panchayat. But again see, what is jati? I am telling jati. Jati actually a divided group of people. This is actually formed on the basis of their background and occupations. And this jati making the Jati Panchayat, and Jati Panchayat control this jati. So after that see, next topic is region and empire. So again I am telling the today's topic that new social and political groups. So in this new social and political group, what we have discussed about the emergence of technology. So during this 700 to 1750, we have got lot of changes in the technology, in the food, and again in the different type of political groups or social groups. What are the social groups? This first Rajput. After that we have discussed different type of people coming from different, this Marathas, Sikhs, Jats, Ahom, Kayastha, these are. And we have got the habitat. What is habitat? Habitat is given here. And again, what is the Persian wheel? So this is the Persian wheel which is used in agriculture. After the next topic is region and empire. So what is region and empire? So we have discussing here the period 700 to 750. So during this period, we can get the different senses in region and empire also. So we will discuss according to dynasty in the chapter wise. So if we see large states like the Solas. So Sola dynasty we will discuss in chapter 2. Next Toghlaq dynasty we will discuss in chapter 3, and Mughals we will discuss in chapter 4. So these are the dynasty formed. And if we see the Sanskrit Prasastis, so it is given in chapter 2. In the Sanskrit Prasasti, according to Sanskrit Prasasti, it is said that if we see during the period 1266 to 1287, in this period, the Delhi Sultan Ghiyasuddin Balban, so he was most powerful rulers. So he, in this process, it is said that he was able to control a large area. What are the area? From Bengal in the east to Ghazni, and Ghazana in Afghanistan in the west, and include all the South India, Dravida, people of different regions, Gur, Andhra, Kerala, Karnataka, Maharashtra and Gujarat apparently fled before his armies. Means Ghiyasuddin Balban, he is able to control a large area during this period 1266 to 1287. So what are the areas? See, if we see this map, this is India map. So here see Ghiyasuddin Balban, he is able to control different type of places. See, this is the area, here it is given, the name is given in the below the map. These are the places able to controlled in India by Ghiyasuddin Balban. So here it is said that map 3, provinces of the Delhi Sultanate during Delhi Sultanate or during Muhammad Tughlaq's reigns, when the Muhammad Tughlaq was the ruler. So according to the Egyptian source Masalik al-Absar fi Mamalik al-Amsar of Shihabuddin Umari, according to them, so in the period of Delhi Sultanate, the India is captured all the places by Delhi Sultanate. So after that, next see, here it is said that regard these and exaggerated claims of consequence. At the same time, they try to understand why rulers kept claiming to have control over different parts of the subcontinents. So here it is said that all the area during that period of India is controlled by the Delhi Sultanate. So, and when Delhi Sultanate is able to control all area, after when Mughal dynasty came, they are also captured all the area of India. So in this way, whatever the new dynasty came, like Solas or like Rashtrakuta, like Gurjara Pratihara, after Delhi Sultan, after the Mughal, so every dynasty came and they always want to control and they always want to extend their area. So here one important point is given that language and region. When different type of caste or different type of people come from different area, so when they are mixing, the different type of language are formed in different regions. So in 1318, The poet Amir Khurshid noted that there was a different language in every region of this land. Sindhi, Lahori, Kashmiri, Darsamudri in southern Karnataka, Telangini in Andhra Pradesh, Gujari in Gujarat, Mawari in Tamil Nadu, Gauri in Bengal, Awadhi in western Uttar Pradesh, and Hindui in the area of around Delhi. So in this way, according to the different regions, the different type of language are used. So here again it is said that Amir Khurshid went to explain that the contrast to this language where there was Sanskrit which did not belong to any regions. So here it is said that though different type of language is in different regions, but the Sanskrit which did not belong to any regions, because why? Sanskrit is an old language and it is a very tough language which is used by the Brahmin at that time. The other people, they never used the language. So after that, next see, by 700 many regions already possess distinct geographical dimension and their own language and cultural characteristics. So in chapter we will get more about the languages, what are languages are used, and again they were also associated with specific ruling dynasties. Means see, whatever the Sola dynasty, Khalji rulers, or Tughlaq dynasty, Mughal dynasty, so they are able to create their own dynasty, but they never forget their own culture. When Sola dynasty came, they used their own language and culture. When Mughal come, they used their own culture. So that is why they are able to create a pan-regional. So what is pan-regional? Pan-regional actually like the Solas dynasty, Tughlaq and Mughal. They were able to build a pan-regional according to their own language, because they use their own culture, old costume, their ritual. They never accept the other languages because they have told that they have own language, own culture. So in this way they are able to create the pan-regional. Pan-regional means suppose Sola dynasty come, they are able to create their own language, own culture, like that. Mughal come, they are able to create their own culture and use their own language. So in this way they are making the pan-regionals. So in this way, if we see the medieval period, so we will see different type of modernity or different type of development, see in the social, in the cultural, and in the economic field. So again see, when the Mughal Empire declined in the 18th century, so when 18th century, it led to re-emerge of regional states, which we will discuss in chapter 10. But years of imperial pan-regional rule had altered the character of the regions. Across most of the subcontinent, the regions were left with the legacies of the big and small states that had ruled over them, and this was apparent an emergence of many distinct and shared traditions in the realms of governance, the management of the economy, elite culture, and language. Through the 1,000 years between 700 and 750, the character of different regions did not grow in isolation. This region felt the impact of larger pan-regional forces and integration without ever quite losing their distinctive. So I have already told that this way, suppose Sola dynasty came, they used their own language and culture. Mughal Empire came, they used their own language and culture, but they never lose their distinctive characteristics. So during this 700 to 1750, we will see different type of dynasty and their culture, their economic development, their social progress we will discuss in the chapter wise. So after that I can see next, during this 700 to 1750, older society, what was the early societies included group of hunter-gatherers, early farmers, people living in towns and villages, and early empires and kingdoms. But in the medieval period, during this 700 to 1750, So this medieval period actually shows the development of the Hinduism on Islam and the arrival of European trading companies. Actually during this period modernity actually occurred. So now next topic is what is old and new religions. So see, the 1,000 years of history that are exploring witness major development in religious traditions. People believe in the divine was sometimes deeply personal, but more usually it was collective, and collective belief in supranational agency, religions, and often closely connected with the social and economic organization of local communities. As the social world of this group altered, so too did their beliefs. So old and new terminologies, it is said that during this period means during this 700 to 1750, so during this period significant development occurred in religious tradition also. What is the census? With the census of social and economic field, we have already got social and economic census means the tradition of the agriculture census, invention of the spinning wheel, to Persian wheel in irrigation. So like that the social and economic development, people's belief was also sensed. Hinduism saw many senses which included the worship of new deities, the construction of the temples by royalty, and the growing importance of the Brahmins and the praise in our society. And for their knowledge of Sanskrit texts, Brahmins earned a great response in that society, and new rulers become their patrons. So here it is said that with the development of the economy and the society, so one new rulers came, which is one new rulers become their patrons. So what is patron? See, patron actually an influential and wealthy individual who support another person. So here Brahmins. So Brahmins actually during that period they are accepted or considered as the most talented person, because they are got sons in everywhere, because we have got that during the period of Rashtrakud dynasty, who are the Brahmin, they can become the king. So that is why the Brahmin also give the support to the rulers. They also return the processes also. So patron actually the people or the Brahmin who support the rulers, how to control the area, how to control the region, and how will run. So all these things is taught by the Brahmins to the rulers. And again see, one of the major development of this period was the emergence of the idea of bhakti. Means during this 700 to 750 the development of bhakti also started. So of loving personal deity, and devotees could reach without aid and praise of elaborate rituals. So this we will discuss in chapter 8. In the chapter 8 we will discuss according to the area or according to the regions different type of bhakti movement started. If we see in the Assam, the great reformer is Shankardev. So in this way, in the Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, in this area also, and Gujarat, Punjab, we will discuss about the Sufism, Guru Nanak. This we will discuss in chapter 8. After that, see next. This was also the period when new religion appeared in the subcontinent. Merchants and migrants first brought the teachings of the Holy Quran to India in the 7th century. Muslims regard the Quran as their holy book and accept the sovereignty of the one God, Allah, whose love and mercy and bounty embrace all those who believe in him without regard the social background. So in this paragraph what is said? In this paragraph it is said that the teaching of the Holy Quran was brought to India in 7th century. By whom? By the migrants and the merchants. Actually Quran actually, so Quran actually the holy book of Islam. So they believe in one God, that is Allah, and his love, mercy are for those who believe in him. Means those people are believe in Quran. So always it is thought that Allah will help them. Many rulers were patrons of Islam or ulama. So if we see that Brahmins, they are patrons, In this way, in the Muslim also, the ulama, they are also considered as the patrons. So Islam got divided in this period. Again, see, it is said that in this paragraph it is said that Islam also got divided into two sets. One is Shia and another is Sunni. Shia Muslim and Sunni Muslim. This type of two sects, Shia and Sunni. So what is Shia? Shia Muslim believed that Prophet Muhammad, they believed the Prophet Muhammad. So here it is said that Prophet Muhammad is believed by the Shia. And Sunni, they believed in what? Sunni Muslim accepted the authority of early leaders, the Khalifas. They believe in the Khalifas. So in this way, there were other important differences between the two schools, the Hanafi and Sufis, and in theology and mystic tradition of Islam. So here it also said that Hanafi and Sufi. So in this way, in the Muslim religion also we have got different type of characteristics, like the Muslim they are divided into Shia and Sunni, like that they are main two important school who is given the religious thought to them, this Hanafi and Sufi. So this is all about the old and new religions during this period 700 to 750. So in the next video we will discuss the next topic, thinking about time and historical periods. So students, I hope you understand